go for a weekend to Wembley, see Mervyn Johnson in the bar after the match. The one results on the television at lunchtime in the third division resulted in Huddersfield 18, Keighley 14. And congratulations to the 18. They won the cup tie at Leigh on Friday evening by 32 points to 18. And if anybody doesn't know the result, the South African Grand Prix was won by Nigel Mansell. The Supporters Club membership draw. Today's winning number 211, Mrs. J. Johnson of Huntington. So Mrs. Johnson is in the stadium. She can collect her prize in the bar after the match. And any supporter wishing to join the Supporters Club, come along on Thursday evening. Also, anybody wanting to play for the Supporters Club Rugby League team, we're having good training sessions down here and several games in the pipeline, some of which include York Sixth Form College, York University and Bradford Northern Supporters Club. If you're interested in playing Rugby League for the Supporters Club, will you contact Chris Smallwood or Dave Boston. The next home game is next Sunday. Now he has received a prize from Conal Gregory, York MP, and also from John Green.
Well, a very good afternoon. This is Derek Disley. Welcome you to the Rydale Stadium in York for this afternoon's Stone Spitter Championship second division fixture between Rydale, York and Leigh. For this afternoon, the home side, York, will line up as follows. 1, Paul Hutchinson. 1, Paul Hutchinson. 2, Chris Hopcutt. 3, Ian Bragger. 4, Nick Pinkney. 5, Paul White. 6, Gary Pearce. 7, Chris Hamilton. 8, Ian Paver. 9, the skipper, Stuart Orton. 10, Richie Hayes. 11, Stuart Morris. 12, Jeff Price. And 13, Mike Ramsden. The two home substitutes are at 14, Peter Lockwood, and 15, Graham Sullivan. The visitors from Hilton Park will line up at 1, David Tanner. 2, Simon Booth. 3, Ian Jeffrey. 4, David Hill. 5, Barry Ledger. 6, John Woods. 7, Jason Donoghue. 8, Mark Shields. 9, Andy Rowain. 10, Lee Hansen. 11, Adrian Erner. 12, John Costello. And 13, their skipper, Paul Topping. And these substitutes this afternoon are at 14, Ross Bridge, and 15, Andy Collier. So this is the fourth time this season that these two sides have met in the second division. Leigh currently ahead by 3 matches to 0. The opening game of the season at Hilton Park was won by Leigh by 26 points to 10. In October, Leigh won here at Rydale Stadium by 22 points to 7, and on the 12th of January, Leigh scored that crushing 70 points to 0 defeat over Rydale York at Hilton Park. But since then, Rydale York have won 3 out of their last 4 matches and are unbeaten at home in their last 3. As Gary Pearce gets the game underway, Leigh are on a run of 9 successive league victories. So top of the table Leigh, away to bottom of the table Rydale York, and Leigh in possession from the kick-off. Our match official, Mr. Peter Gilmore from Workington, is our referee, and Mr. W. Lomaff and Mr. G. Miller are our 2 touch judges. So it's Leigh in possession. Jason Donoghue moves it left to Shields. Good tackling there from Stuart Morris. Donoghue behind the play of the ball once more. Ruane puts the kick in. Finds touch on halfway, beats left wingman Paul White. Simon Booth in chase for the visitors, but we'll have our first scrum of the afternoon. So we Hamilton to feed the scrum. Possession goes York's way. White behind the play of the ball. Oh, very quiet here in these opening minutes at the Rydale Stadium. Hamilton now attacked in half back for York and brings in Stuart Morris. Three-man reception committee greets him. Good tackling this time on Hayes. Horton now behind the play of the ball. Good charge on this time. It's better running from Paver. Horton behind the play of the ball once more to Pierce down the short side. Kick through. Tanner takes it a second attempt and is immediately tackled by Pinkney. Leigh back in possession but on their own try line. So Booth takes it up from acting half back, gives his forwards chance to regroup. Under away now behind the play of the ball for Leigh. Shields his first man in. Makes a good 10 yards. That's a good clearing drive by the Leigh number 8. Leigh will look for the kick from skipper Topping. One to test Hutchinson, takes it well, 10 yards inside his own half. Runs into John Woods. Gets the ball away in the tackle to Hopcutt. It's a good pass. Good defence though for Leigh by Ledger and Hill. So it's now Ramsden over on the far side taking it up for Rydale. Move it inside now once more to Hamilton, onto Pierce. Long pass. Good cover tackle needed on Morris. Erner was the man getting the vital tackle in for Leigh. Now it's Paver. Ball's on the deck. 6 more tackles indicates referee Gilmore. Leigh a little sloppy on that occasion. York not sure what was going on. Bryce takes it up. Tackle just short of the Leigh 25. Ramsden gets a good return ball to Horton there. York in possession inside the Leigh 25. Hamilton going from acting half back, dodging and weaving, brings in Bragger. Good defence though from Leigh. Horton trying the reverse move, ball drop, possession to Leigh. Fine crunching tackle on Hayes, dislodged the ball. Leigh Hanson now looks to clear the 25 and does. Under away now, moves it out to Donoghue, onto Shields. Shields tackled by the second row pair of Morris and Price. Donoghue now on to Woods, to Erner. Erner drives back into trouble. Hayes is the tackler. Woods now on to Ruane. Ruane with the kick. Looks the only option for Leigh to break out of their own defence at the moment. Hutchinson takes it in his own 25. Gets away from that. 2 would-be tattlers. Donoghue and Costello both missed him. York almost up to halfway with possession once more. Horton now goes right onto Amerton. Amerton brings inside Bragger. Horton moves it left to Paver. Paver gets a fine ball out there. Leigh could be in trouble here, but the ball is dropped. And Tanner picks up the pieces for the visitors. So, another good opportunity lost by Rydale York. Booth goes up from acting half-back, runs into White's tattle. Costello takes it up this time, that's better from Leigh. Fine defence though from York once more. Shields now for Leigh. Shields looking to pass the ball round the man as he's tackled by Price. Hanson goes up from acting half-back, shrugs off the first tackler, stopped by his opposite number Hayes. Woods now. Out to Topping. Topping looks for the break, can't get the ball out in the tattle though. Last one indicates the referee. Fine tackle from Pinkney. Woods to Ruane. Ruane gets the kick away. Finds a good touch, just a yard short of the Rydale York try line, and for the first time Leigh are down in their opponent's 25-yard line. But it will be Chris Hamilton to feed the scrum for the home side. 6 minutes of the game gone. No points on the board as yet. Possession once more to York. Hanson coming out of the scrum to make the tackle. All on, says the referee. But leigh make a mess of it in the end. Fail to drop on the pieces. Referee calls them back for the knock-on. So, leigh let their opponents off on that occasion. Ball topping, the leigh loose forward. Out of the scrum before the ball. Well spotted by referee Gilmore. And leigh are penalised. The first penalty of the game goes Rydell York's way. It's taken 7 minutes for us to get a penalty, but we've still no points as yet. So Stuart Horton with the tap. On to Hamilton. Move the ball out to Ramsden. The ball is lost again in the tackle. In fact, it wasn't Ramsden, it was Hayes. But the ball is won back at the play, the ball by Horton. And now Morris is upended by Donoghue in centre field. But it's Rydell York back in possession. Pace beginning to step up a little. Bragger takes it into the leigh half. Short ball to Ramsden. Leigh read that one well. Horton behind the play, the ball once more. Moves it left to Pearce. Pearce puts in the kick. Taken by Booth, 15 yards from his own try line. Tattled by Pinkney and Price. But Leigh back in possession. Tanner now forced to take it up, but all Rydell caught offside. Ball topping, cools things down. David Tanner looking for a quick tap and run. Woods going for touch. Good kick by Woods, finds touch just short of halfway. So under away. First one in is Shields. Runs into Pinkney and White, and Leigh are in possession, and I think for the first time in Rydell York territory. Donoghue now. Off the ball incident between Horton and Woods. Leigh keep the ball moving though, with Topping. Topping looking for a way down centre field, wrapped up by Hayes. Donoghue moves it left, Hanson goes without it, and Hayes picks it up for York. Well, both sides making elementary mistakes in these opening 10 minutes. And a fine pass there from Morris onto Hopcutt. White behind the play, the ball. Gets it inside to Ramsden, he throws it away, but Hamilton takes the pass, makes a fine charge. Inside to Price. The leigh cover is there in the shape of John Woods. That's the first real break of the match from either side. York on a good attacking position now. Inside to Horton. Woods knocks it down. It'll be a head and ball to York at the scrum. So despite being top of the table, Leigh know they've got a game on their hands here this afternoon at the Rydell Stadium. York trying to make this early pressure tell. Hamilton to feed the scrum. 10 yards from the lead try line. Possession once more to York. Out to Pearce. Pinkney's well wrapped up by Jeffrey. That was a vital tattle for Leigh. Now Hutchinson behind the play of the ball. Just 6-7 yards from the lead try line. Ramsden takes it up. Good defence from his opposite number Topping. Horton now moves it inside to Hayes. Another tackler this time for Leigh. And Price finds a way through. The Leigh defence is unlocked. Jeff Price's third try of the season after 11 minutes. It's Rydell York ahead by 4 points to 0. It's York that get the early points. Jeff Price is the try scorer, and it was a well-worked move by Rydale. Finally made the pressure tell on the Leigh defence. And Leigh really not been in the game as yet as an attacking force in these opening 12 minutes. So Gary Pearce with his first kick-up goal this afternoon. Draws it wide of the far post. But York have got the start they want. It's a scoreline here at the Rydale Stadium with just 12 minutes gone. Rydale York 4 points, Leigh 0. So John Woods back at the centre with the restart for the visitors. Ramsden picks that one up. And York back in possession on their own 25. Horton moves it right to the try scorer Price. It's a better tattle coming in from Andy Rowain for Leigh. Horton once more. Moves it right, misses out Hamilton, picked up by Morris. Momentum of the move lost. York in possession just outside their own 25. Oh, skipper Stuart Horton. Keep it moving to Ramsden. Ramsden stopped though by Costello. York will look for the kick here from in fact they don't. Hamilton gets it out to White. Look forward from here, but he's allowed to play on. Jeffrey gets the tattle in on halfway. And it's the last tattle now as Pearce puts the kick in. Ball bounces badly for Tanner. Tanner picks it up 5 yards from his own try line and just takes the tattle 15 yards out from Richie Hayes. And Leigh back in possession now with Donoghue. Donoghue stopped by Horton. Well, a sloppy play the ball there. Hamilton up very quickly on Leigh. So Lee Hansen now takes it up, runs into Morris. Away now to Donoghue. Donoghue looking for room down the centre. Hayes and Ramsden close him down. It's the last tattle and Leigh have not really done much with these 6. Relieving kick comes in from Topping. Hutchinson and White chase back. White picks it up 15 yards from his own try line. Tattled in the end by Booth, almost escaped. Pinkney uses White as a foil, but Jeffrey gets the tattle in again. White now brings in Paver. A tattle from Shields. Pinkney moves it on now to Hamilton. Pop forward, Richie Hayes taking it up once more. Dobson now reverses the role. Pearce puts the kick in again. Fine kick this time, finds a good touch, 10 yards from the Leigh try line. Scrums at the moment are 3-0 in Rydale York's favour. Leigh will have head and ball for the first time this afternoon. 15 minutes gone, Leigh trail by 4 points to 0 at the moment. Donoghue feeds the scrum and Leigh get a penalty. Again it's the loose forward Mike Ramsden this time, coming out before the ball. Penalised as Paul Topping was a few moments ago. Relieving kick from Woods, finds touch midway between the Leigh 25 and halfway. Shields his first man in, but York are not back the requisite 10 yards, says the touch judge. And Leigh get another penalty. So Rowain drives them back even further. And Leigh will have possession now on the home 25-yard line. So this is Leigh's best attacking position. Costello is first man in. Runs into Pinkney and Price. Rowain now to Donoghue. On to Shields. That's a good tattle from Hayes. Positions there for Leigh now. They can get back on level terms. Tanner gets in on the action. No way past Ramsden. Woods behind the play of the ball. Out to Donoghue. Little grubber kick. Well picked up though by Hutchinson. And a good tackle coming in from Jeffrey. Fine play by the Rydale York fullback, and York with a big line out here, but Hamilton went the wrong way. A 6-3 overlap to the left, but he cut back inside into trouble. Horton now brings in Paver. Good tackling from Costello and Erner. Horton once more using the other prop now, Hayes. Horton to Hamilton. On to Pearce again. Pearce dodges and weaves. Gets a good pass inside to keep it moving. Paver inside to Price. And gets the ball out in the tattle to Hamilton. And good tattle from Paul Topping in the end. Last one indicates the referee. Pearce gets it to Pinkney. Pinkney side steps inside. It is the sixth tackle. He gets the ball out and Leigh come up with possession. I think Costello knocked on, but Leigh got away with it. York got themselves in an awful mess on that occasion. Erner takes it up now, spills the ball. Could work well for Leigh. No way through for Donoghue. Stopped in the end by the man on the floor, Jeff Price. Woods now moves it left. Hanson crashes through the gap. On to Hill. Hill still going. Stopped on the home 25 in the end. It's better from Leigh. First real attack they've had in the game. Woods now. Good pass out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey steps inside one man. Good covering tattle though from White. Booth now. On to Woods. Can Leigh get something out of this? Erner now. Erner goes itself. The ball is lost. The referee calls them back for the knock-on, despite it being played by full-back Hutchinson. No advantage gained by the home side, but a better spell from Leigh. First real attack of the game, putting pressure on the York try line. Well, the home defence is held. And it'll be Hamilton to feed the scrum once more. Possession again to Rydale. Bring wingman Hopcutt into the line. Tries to drive clear. Now they go back to the forwards. Up to the 25. Horton moving it left now. Erner makes the tattle in the end. Horton behind the play the ball once more. Using the short side, inside to Price again. Leigh managed to stop the ball in the tattle this time. Oh, Stuart Horton on to Pearce. Pearce moves it to the big number 11 Morris. Last one indicates the referee. This time Horton puts the kick in. Booth forced to track back 10 yards from his own try line. Runs into Pinkney and White, but Leigh back in possession. Now with Jeffrey. Jeffrey dodges inside Hayes. Falls at the feet of Price. Woods now to Hanson. Good run from Hanson, good tattle from Ramsden. Topping now. Topping gets a good ball out to Hill. Hill seems to have gone the wrong way. Forced back inside, good tattle from Hamilton. Shields now. Shields takes it up. Runs into trouble though. Good tattle from Horton and Ramsden. Last one indicates the referee. Woods now. That's a fine up and under. That's a testing one. Well taken by fullback Hutchinson, but good tattle made by Woods as well. Hamilton gets the ball out to Hopcutt. Leigh have got to keep them there. Got to try and force the error. Topping makes the tattle in the end, 10 yards out. Horton brings in Paver. It's a good clearing run by the prop. Hill and Ledger make the tattle in the end. Ball lost in the tattle indicates the touch judge on the far side. Referee blows up for the scrum and Leigh will have head and ball. And Leigh are loosening up Andy Collier. Into the game for some 15 matches with a broken jaw. In the meantime, it's Donoghue to feed the scrum. Leigh win the first clean scrum of the afternoon. Donoghue takes it up, tattled by his opposite number Hamilton. So Leigh 25 yards out now with Topping. Leigh right in front of the Rydale York posts. Out to Donahue. No way through for the scrum half. Good defence again from the home side. Inside to Hill. Hill shows a fine turn of pace. And the referee says he is over on his back. Well, he appeared to get the ball down from our position, but not towards referee Peter Gilmore. So the chance is lost, and York will have head and ball at a 5-yard scrum. Hamilton to feed. Scrum's 4-1 in the home side's favour at the moment. That makes it 5. So a bit of pressure being applied now by Leigh. They need to get back on level terms as quickly as possible. Good tackling the game by the second row pair of Erner and Costello. Ramsden now. Costello and Erner in on the stop once more for Leigh. Well, the ball finished up in the hands of Leigh Hansen, and Leigh are in possession just 10 yards out. They forced the error, but can they capitalise on it? No, they can't, because Shields goes without it, and the knock-on is given. So Leigh really need to steady things down a little at the moment. Having a good spell of pressure, but no points to show for it as yet. Trail Rydale York by 4 points to 0. Chris Hamilton feeds the scrum once more. Comes up with possession again. No way through for Gary Pearce. Now Hutchinson behind the play of the ball. Brings in Morris. It's a good tattle from Costello. Price now. Leigh have not got to let this man run. Tattling by Erner. So Rydale still inside their own 25. Good defence again by Leigh. Rydale now trying to move it wide. Get a good inside ball to Hamilton. Ball is dropped. Jeffrey picks it up for Leigh, and Leigh are back in possession. Inside the York half of the field. Out to Simon Booth. Who's stopped 5 yards short of the home 25. Woods now. Woods tries to take them on. Morris gets the tattle in. Ruane out to Donahue now. On to Hansen. Hansen wrapped up by Price. No way through this tight Rydale York defence at the moment. Erner now. Inside to Tanner. To Ledger. Ledger tries to use his pace but can't outwit Morris and Hayes. Last one again. Woods launches the eye up and under. Coolly taken under pressure once more by Hutchinson. Chances lost. York will tap from their own 25. Well, coming up to almost 25 minutes played in this Stones Bidder Championship Second Division fixture. And Leigh, nothing to show for their efforts as yet. Trailing by 4 points to 0. And York now. Been under a bit of pressure from Leigh, but still coming back. All guns firing. Not the best of moves between Hamilton and Paver. They retain possession. Horton now. On to Morris. Ball is lost again. Possession to Leigh. So Leigh can keep the pressure on. John Costello is the man picking the pieces up for the visitors. Donahue now. Looking for a way through. Stopped by Paver once more. Andy Ruane now. Out to Topping. Leigh Hansen takes it the second attempt. Well, the penalty goes Leigh's way. That seems a strange decision. Leigh Hansen played the ball because he thought there was nobody marking him. York thought they had marked him. I was a little surprised myself, I must admit. I thought Leigh are fortunate to get that penalty. And you can't see from this position whether the marker was directly in front of Leigh Hansen or not. So Leigh will look for their first points of the afternoon with this John Woods penalty from 35 yards out. It's his first attempt of the game. And it's there. It brings Leigh back into this game. It comes in the 27th minute and it makes the scoreline Rydell York 4 points, Leigh 2. So it'll be Gary Pearce with the restart for Rydell York. Referee Peter Gilmore, not the most popular man round the Rydell Stadium with the home supporters at the moment. Jeffrey takes that one from the kick-off. Stopped just short of the 25 by Hayes, and Leigh in possession once more. Topping now, drives into Price, takes it to the 25. No way through for Shields. Ruane once more. On to Costello. Costello makes 5 or 6 yards this time. Paver the tattler for York. Now Donahue gets the kick in. That's a towering kick for Hutchinson to turn and chase. But it goes all the way dead, and York will settle for that. A tap from their own 25 and possession. So Stuart Horton with the restart. And brings in Braga. Under away makes the tattle for Leigh. Horton now using the short side. Under away and again, the tattler for Leigh. So York now moving it across field. Fine ball for Morris to run onto, but good defence from Leigh. Hamilton gets it out to Price, who spills it. Tanner picks it up for Leigh, and the referee allows them possession. Booth goes from acting half back, no way past Price. Lee Hansen takes it up now, stopped just short of halfway. Well, Lee Hansen complaining he was injured. The referee says the ball was lost in the tattle. And the chance is lost once more. And York will get head and ball at the scrum yet again. Possession once more to York, makes the scrum count 7-1. Good tattling by Hill though on Braga. Another good tattle as well from David Hill. Hill in on the stop on Paver as well. So York in possession, 10 yards inside the Leigh half. Out to Hamilton. Good line out here. Brilliant tackling by Booth. He had to take Stuart Morris, man and ball. York could work the overlap. Here comes Ramsden, gets it out to Horton. That was a fine ball and a fine catch by Horton. Good tackle from Lee Hansen, but the last one indicates the referee. Kick comes in from Pearce. Booth takes it behind his own try line and gets away from two would-be tattlers. Steps inside as well. Fine run by the Leigh number 2, Simon Booth. He appeared to be in all sorts of troubles when he got the ball. Leigh now with an overlap. Hill loses the ball in the end. Leigh go backwards. Turner picks up the pieces. But all Simon Booth's hard work came to nothing as Leigh were forced back. Shields now gets a good ball out to Topping. Topping stopped though, just short of the 25. Leigh want to get on with it. York have got a player down injured. The referee Gilmore in the end stops the clock. Well, over half an hour gone. Leigh still trail Rydale York by 4 points to 2. There's certainly been a considerable improvement in the Rydale York side since the 12th of January when Leigh ran 70 points past them at Hilton Park. Well, they've not given up, Rydale York that is, have not given up the chance of avoiding relegation. Virtually got to win every remaining match, but certainly giving it a go here this afternoon at the Rydale Stadium. So Donahue now. On to Erner, good tackle by Horton. Donahue now to Woods, on to Shields. Shields wrapped up by Ramsden, and it's the last tackle. Ruane gets the kick away in the end. Should be an easy one though for Hopcutt to take. And fine tackle, but he gets away to Hutchinson. A good tackle by Hill. But York back in possession, just inside the Leigh half of the field. Good charge by Hayes, good stop by Erner and Hansen. Hamilton now. Inside ball. It's a little high from Shields, but not a stiff arm, says the referee. Pearce now. Short ball. Ball thrown away, picked up by Leigh Hansen, and Leigh back in possession. One pass too many from Ian Paver. Woods now behind the play of the ball. Can't escape the clutches of Pearce though. Attempted high tackle by Paver is penalised. Leigh get the 5th penalty of the first half. Makes the penalty count 5-1 in Leigh's favour. And again, Mr Gilmore not very popular at the moment at the Rydale Stadium. That is with the home supporters. Woods' kick only makes a yard or so. So Ruane with the tap. On to Shields now. Reception committee meets Mark Shields, and Leigh in possession midway between their own 25 and halfway. So Ruane now to Donahue. On to Costello. Costello half through. Quickly closed by Morris. Fine break by Donahue. Is he going to go all the way? He's looking for support. Good cover though from Hamilton. Fine break from Donahue. He's been looking for that all afternoon. Hill now forced to go it alone. Takes it into the home 25. Leigh just a little disorganised at that play of the ball. Woods now. On to Hansen. Hansen just takes it up. Last tackle indicates the referee. Fine grubber kick from Woods this time. Dropped by Pinkney. Leigh gets 6 more tackles. Well, it didn't look the best of kicks from John Woods, but it certainly paid dividends. Shields takes it up again for Leigh. Tackle 15 yards out. Erner on the drive now. Runs into Paver. Well, it's not Paver, in fact, it's Hayes. It's the other prop. Ruane now. Out to Donahue. To Woods. Costello. Out to Tanner. Tanner eludes one tackle, but Hutchinson stops him. Less than 10 yards to go for Leigh now. Trying to put the pressure on. Hansen. Can't push off Pearce and Paver though. Last one indicates the referee. Donahue with the grubber kick across the field. Kick dead in the end by White. That was a fine kick from Leigh. Shields takes it up and drops the ball again. So chance is lost for Leigh. And York will have head and ball at the scrum, and it'll be York trying to get something before the interval. Makes the scrum count 8-1 in York's favour. Into the line comes Bragger, and he's proved quite elusive when he's had the ball in his hands for Rydale. Hamilton uses the short side. Rydale 10 yards short of halfway. Horton now. On to Price. He gets the ball out in the tattle though. Donahue makes the half stop on Morris. Under away and completes the tattle. Hamilton runs into trouble. Horton now onto Pierce, who puts the kick in. Booth forced to chase back once more, takes it 10 yards from his own try line. He's plenty of men to get past a game. This time White manages to hold on to him. Jeffrey now to Tanner. Tanner gets past the first tattler. Price stops him just outside the 25. Woods now to Hansen. Hansen stopped by Pierce and Bragger. Well, Mark Shields has dropped the ball yet again. Not having the best of afternoons with his handling the leigh number 8. Going very murky here at the Rydale Stadium. I think we could have some rain in the second half, the way things are going. York win yet another scrum. Woods makes the tattle on Hopcutt. So can York turn this through again? They've been under a lot of pressure recently, but they've withstood it. Hamilton now brings in Paver. He'll set the position up with the drive, just 10 yards out. Shoot Horton once more. Drop goal comes in from Pierce, but it's a leigh player, indicates referee Gilmore. The goal is not given. So leigh will be forced to drop out from under their own post. And York will have the opportunity to keep the pressure on just before the interval. It's 1 minute of normal time remaining on my watch. Woods with the dropout. Down centre field. Hamilton takes it on halfway, hands it on to Hutchinson. He's almost up to the 25 before he stopped. Horton goes right now to Paver. I think leigh will settle for this half-time scoreline. Rydale want more points. 15 yards out. Horton now onto Hamilton. Onto Morris. Keep it going. Long pass out to White. Good tattle though by Jeffrey. Hamilton goes from acting half-back. It's out of the first tattle. Lee Hansen makes the stop for leigh. Horton now hands it on to Ramsden. It's a better tattle, but he gets it out to Horton. And he stopped just inches short. Last tattle indicates the referee. Will York do it? Kick ahead. Kick dead by Barry Ledger. Under pressure. Good spell from York. Can Leigh hold out before the interval? We're into added time at the end of this first half. And Woods with the dropout once more. It's a better kick from Woods. Ramsden takes it on halfway though. Takes it back up. Costello is the first lead tattler. So can Rydale get anything in the closing seconds of this first half? Taken up by Hayes. No, they can't. There goes the half-time outer. It's a disappointing scoreline for the people that have travelled from Lancashire, because here at the Rydale Stadium in this afternoon's Storms Bidder Championship second division fixture, it's a half-time scoreline of Rydale York 4 points, Leigh 2.
skill thing though. It's a good chance. It's him and Kate being played. She's not right an arm twin. Or come in town, like, you come in town with me and Kate, like, you and Helen, come in town, me. No. You come in, no.
A half-time substitution for Leigh. Number 15, Andy Collier, comes on to replace number 10, Leigh Henson.
And as referee Peter Gilmore from Workington takes the field for the second half. A reminder of the half-time scoreline in this Stones Bidder Championship second division fixture. It's bottom of the table, Rydell York 4 points, top of the table Leigh 2. So could we have a shock on our hands this afternoon? 40 minutes to decide. One substitution during the half-time interval. Andy Collier has come on to replace Leigh Hansen in the Leigh side. Hansen having gone off with a leg injury. And it's Ramsden in possession from the kick-off for the home side. So Leigh got to raise their game considerably from their first half performance. Collier quickly in on the tackling action on Morris. Horton now brings in the number 10 Hayes. Collier makes the tackle again. Look for the kick though from Pearce. Tanner takes it just inside his own 25. Runs into a tackle from Price and Bragger, but Leigh back in possession. Andy Collier quickly in on the action. Donahue now brings in Shields. Shields makes 5 or 6 yards, but Leigh will be looking for early points in this second half to get back on level terms or in front. Was now to Topping. Topping upended by Price as he went through the gap. Just an handle tap, stopped a good promising looking Leigh move. Donahue to Erner. Erner dummies. Takes the tackle from Ramsden and Braggett. Hill now. Donahue kicks ahead. Backed on by Woods. And Leigh come up with possession by Rowain. And Leigh will get 6 more tackles. So it worked for Leigh well in the end. Moving it along the line now. Topping tries to straighten the move up. Runs into Gary Pearce though. Movement is stopped. 5 yards inside the Rydale half of the field. Shields now gets it inside to Jeffrey. On to Tanner. No way past Paver and Horton. Woods now. On to Donahue. Donahue scooters through the gap. Inside to Collier. The support was just a little late getting there. Woods gets it out to Rowain. On to David Hill. And Hill gets through the gap. David Hill's 9th try of the season. Gives Leigh the start they wanted in this second half. Just 2.5 minutes of the second half gone. Leigh ahead for the first time at the game. They lead Rydell York by 6 points to 4. So the lighting seems to have improved during the half-time interval here at the Rydale Stadium. It certainly went dark before the interval. It's pretty bright now, but Woods drags his kick wide of the near post. But Leigh are ahead. They now lead by 6 points to 4, and we've had 3 minutes of the second half. Well, Jason Donahue limps back into his own half, having taken a knock. And he was the man behind the initial break. It set Leigh up in the attacking position inside the home 25. And Pearce with the restart for the home side now. Try score a Hill, plays it with his feet. Takes on Ramsden, Morris and Braggett. No way through. But makes a good 15 yards before he's brought down. Shields in on the action. Braggett again in on the tackle. Collier now looking for a way through. Gets the ball inside to Donahue again. Price makes the tackle this time. Donahue showing why he's been called into the Great Britain under-21 squad this week. Shields now taking it up. It's the ball out somehow. Jeffrey clears the 25. Rydale make the tackle. They put it back for the kick to Topping. Topping wide kick, crossfield, well taken again by Hutchinson. Handled those eyeballs well. Collier makes the tackle. Hamilton now brings in Braggett. Stopped on the centre spot by Erner and Shields. Horton now brings in Paver. Collier again is the tackler for Leigh. Certainly showing for an appetite for the game in his return. Richie Hayes, no way through. Just now with Pearce, back to onto Morris in the end. Brilliant pass, it's now on to Wingman, Hopcut. Brilliant tackle though by Tanner, good play from Rydale York. The last one indicates the referee. Hamilton throws it inside to Pearce, they've got a big overlap here. Horton now. It's with the centre Pinkney, he kicks ahead straight into the welcome arms of Tanner. Chances lost for the home side, but they've certainly shown that they can attack down this right hand side. Erner now, tackled 10 yards out by Horton. Jeffrey tries to look from acting half back, but no way through. Costello tries to relieve the pressure. Good tackle coming in from Hayes. Leigh looked for the kick. Andy Ruane gets it in. Hutchinson may catch it. He does, just outside his own 25. Runs into a good tackle from Ledger. Hop cut behind the acting halfback. Tackle by Topping on halfway. Hamilton now, inside to Morris. And the ball lost in the tackle. Just when Rydale were beginning to mount a bit of pressure on the Leigh defence. Chances lost. So Donahue to feed the scrum. Scrums were 9-1 against Leigh in the first half. Woods drops the ball, recovers it though. Takes an injury. There's no need for anyone to dive in, but Hamilton did. Well, Leigh loosen up Russ Bridge at the moment, and they've John Wood has to go off. Leigh will have to do a reshuffle because they've two forwards on the bench this afternoon. The referee wants play to continue. John Woods in fact received an eye injury at this ground back in October on Leigh's last visit. Donahue now, good pass out to Hill, on to Ledger. Ledger steps inside, Ledger slips as he gets on halfway. Woods looks fit to continue. Hill now to Donahue, on to Shields, to Topping. Topping dodges, gets it back to that man Donahue again. Tattle just inside the York half of the field. Ruane now takes it up. Shields on the charge. The ball is lost. Picked up by Morris. Can York catch Leigh on the counter? No, they can't. Morris just a little too slow. Can Leigh win the ball? At the play of the ball, John Costello did a good job once more, marking the play of the ball. So Andy Collier takes it up this time, runs into Morris and two other York tattlers. Ruane now moves it left to Topping, onto Woods. Tries to put Erner through the gap, but Price and Pearce were quick to close it. Woods now to Ruane. Ruane with the kick ahead. Could be a good one if it finds touch. It does, just 5 yards from the Rydale York try line. Leigh keep the pressure on. 9 minutes of the second half gone. Leigh now ahead by 6 points to 4. So Hamilton to feed the scrum. Donahue up quickly though to wrap up Hamilton. Hopcutt from acting half-back. Leigh have got to keep them here. It's a good run by Hopcutt, make the valuable 15 yards. Ramsden now. It's away from Topping's tattle. Woods upends him on the 25. Horton now brings in Paver. Paver makes a good 10 yards. Horton with the kick. Forces Leigh to turn and chase. I don't think it's likely to find touch. Tanner outwits White, but then he's tackled by Pinkney and White comes back to assist. Booth goes from acting half-back. White makes the tackle again. Tanner now out to Donahue. On to Shields. It's a crunching tackle on Shields by second rower Morris. Donahue now gets the return ball. No way past Horton this time. Woods now to Ruane. Ruane with the relieving kick once more. Hutchinson plays it with his feet. Picks it up 15 yards from his own try line. It's away from Hill, but not Topping and Ledger. And now Bragger from acting half-back. It's it away to Hamilton. Ramsden, well, half-tattled by Jeffrey. Collier was in quickly. York could work the overlap again over on the far side. Paver now. Stop 5-6 yards short of halfway. Hamilton to Horton. Back to Hamilton. Tried to put Hayes through the gap. Looked as though it was a high tackle. Leigh got away with once more then. Pierce with the kick. Comes off a Leigh player. Ledger takes it. Price again goes in heavy. And there was really no need to. Tanner now from acting half-back. Horton makes the stop. Away now to Donahue. Costello goes without it. The chance is lost. Pierce slow to pick up the loose pass. York throwing the ball anywhere at the moment. Hamilton looking to keep it moving, but Woods makes the tackle in centre field. So York really needing to settle it down. Woods makes the tackle on Price. Certainly looks as though Woods is fully recovered. Hamilton to Horton. Bring in Morris. Leigh read that one. Solid defence again from the visitors. They'll be looking for more points. Kick ahead by Ramsden. He ran in. Did he run into Erner? Did he play for that? I don't think Erner could really get out of the way. The penalty is going to go York's way. It's their first penalty of this second half.
The £500 cash line draw this afternoon is L7867.
So will Pierce elect to go for goal and try and put his side back on level terms?
McFarlane for the £500 cash line draw.
Well, Pierce is going. Missed his only attempt of the first half. That was the conversion attempt to the prize try. Just over 10 yards in from this near touchline. This could put the sides back on level terms. He draws it well wide. And Collier makes it his own. He didn't get the distance. Leigh will be quite pleased with that. Costello taking it up. Ruane now. Shields. Fine tackling though by York once more. Loose pass. Picked up by Woods. And Leigh just at 6s and 7s a little at the moment. York trying to force the error. No way through now for Erner. And John Costello limping rather badly for Leigh at the moment. Back to Donahue for the kick. Well, the kick was charged down and York come up with possession just 10 yards from the Leigh try line. It's out to Ramsden now. York have got to make this tell. Pierce dodges. It's tattled 8 yards out. Can York conjure up here? Hamilton now to Morris. But Leigh do a good job of taking man and ball in the tattle. Still 10 yards out. York desperate for a try from this position. No way through for Wingman Hopcut in that situation. Hamilton once more. On to Hayes. Last one indicates the referee. Can Leigh keep them out? It's last ditch effort stuff. And in the end, Pierce is tattled in possession and concedes the turnover. Well, that was good defence from Leigh. Rydale York just lost their way a little. And Leigh want to bring a substitute on. I think John Costello will be the man coming off, and Russ Bridge the man to come on. And Leigh still trapped in their own 25, trying to drive clear. Woods now out to Collier. Collier gets a good ball out to Hill, but a good tattle from Hopcut. Topping now, chased and tattled by Hopcut as well. And looks as though both number 12s could be coming off. York want to make a substitution as well. Last, the relieving kick from Leigh. Hamilton takes it on his own 25. Then runs out of ideas as he comes up against Hill and Ledger. Bragger now on to Hutchinson. Russ Bridge has gone on. John Costello has limped off. So Leigh have used both their substitutes now. Ramsden now out to Bragger. Bragger stopped in centre field. Jeff Price coming off as well. Paver gets a good pass out to Pinkney. Well, Russ Bridge quickly in on the action with the tattle. It's what Leigh want at this point in time. Graham Sullivan has come on for Rydale. So now it's Hamilton. Hamilton on a winding run. Battled by Andy Owain inside the Leigh 25. Last one indicates the referee. Ramsden launches the eye up and under. That's not the best of kicks. Bridge takes it, makes it his own. His first touch of the game, and Leigh are in possession on their own 25. Leigh under a bit of pressure at the moment. Jeffrey looking for a way through. Wrapped up by his opposite number, Pinkney. Ruane juddles with that one. Woods forced back inside. No way through again for the Leigh standoff.
Number 15, Graham Sullivan, came on to replace number 12, Jeff Price.
Topping tries to crash through but can't get past Pierce and Sullivan. Ruane gets it out to Erner now. Erner gets inside too. Takes it up to halfway. We try to drag him into touch, but he does well to stay in play, but it's the last tattle this time. Donahue, Leigh running it on the last tattle. All the way to Topping. To Jeffrey now. Out to Booth. Back inside to Jeffrey. Out now to Ruane, who settles for the kick quite sensibly in the end. Horton is the covering man, 10 yards from his own try line. Hill makes the stop. And Hill makes the tattle on Bragger as well. Horton now. Back to Sullivan. Well, he seemed to have weathered the first storm. Rydale York plenty to offer yet. Hamilton inside to Hayes. Great tattle from behind by Andy Ruane. That was needed. It's now up to Hamilton. Hill has a good position there and doesn't let Bragger escape it. Last tattle again. Kick from Hamilton. It's intercepted though by Ledger. Hamilton had got the ball back. Should have settled for the 6 tattles, one would have thought. Topping now tries to take it up. Runs into Sullivan though. Leigh back in possession. Have they weathered the storm once more? Turner throws it inside though to Sullivan. That was a silly pass, totally unnecessary. York back on the attack, trying to make the pressure tell with a tremendous overlap, but Leigh do a good job of stopping them, and then they knock on as well, and Bridge comes up with the ball for Leigh. Well, York were their own worst enemy at that point in time. So Topping takes it up now. Simon Booth going from active half back, stopped by Pinkney. Leigh not really settled since they scored that try now. Donahue tries to take them on, makes it to halfway. Plays it to himself as well. It's another 6 or 7 yards out of it. Right, Leigh with a good line out here now. To Andy Ruane. Out to Woods. Woods gets away from the first tattle. It's a good pass out to Donahue. On to Booth. Booth kicks ahead. And picks it up. And he's still going. And he stopped just a yard or two short. Last tattle coming up indicates the referee. Leigh got a big overlap here. It's on the 6th tattle. And the pass inside to Shields was forward, and Hayes has come away with it for York. Doesn't know where he's going. The chance is lost. Good defence by York. Now it's Sullivan taking it up. Leigh need to apply more pressure on this York defence. York giving the better of it at the moment. Ramsden well brought down though by Hill. Adrian Erner down injured now for Leigh. Hamilton out to Pearce, the home supporters trying to get their side going. Well, it finishes up in the hands of White. Great defence from Booth.
1,431.
And Russ Bridge is down injured now for Leigh. Leigh have 2 players down injured. Ball is dropped in the tattle, and Leigh will settle for the head and ball at the scrum. Both Adrian Erner and Russ Bridge a little shaky at the moment. But both fit to continue. Leigh with 2 injured men back on the bench already. So Donahue to feed the scrum. Leigh win possession. Woods gets away from 2 attempted tackles, stopped on halfway by Morris. Bridge now. Fine run by Bridge, stopped in the end by Bragger. Hill now. Out to Ruane. Woods onto Collier. Collier gets it back inside to Topping. A fine break by Topping. Dodging and weaving. Good defence by Pinkney. Leigh up to the 25 now. Jeffrey keeps it going to Ruane. Ruane throws it away. It's now with Tanner. Tanner's tattled by Horton and Hayes on the 25. Leigh really looking for points. They want a cushion to play with. But again, it's lost by Shields in the tattle. Possession goes York's way once more. So a game riddled by elementary mistakes. No way through for Ramsden. Fine tattle by Erner. Hill goes in to assist. Horton now down the short side. Good tattle by Bridge though on Hayes now. Really looking to apply the pressure. What can York do to get out of this? Bridge makes a good stop on Hamilton. York suddenly making every weather of it at the moment. Sullivan puts the kick in. That's a bad one. Directly out of play. And it's only on the 4th tattle, and Leigh will have head and ball at the scrum. So Donahue to feed. I think it's Ramsden that's receiving treatment at the moment for York. Free Gilmore holding play up. Ramsden fit to continue. Leigh win possession at the scrum. Hill trying to crash through, but no way past Bragger. Woods now attacked in half-back onto Donahue. Topping tries to crash through. Ramsden and Pinkney make the stop. Donahue now on to Ruane. Fine break by Shields. It's a good ball inside to Donahue. It's to Jeffrey now. He stopped 10 yards out. That's better from Leigh. And they make the position tell though. Woods makes the dummy. Sit out to Hill. Hill's in again at the corner. The try is given. David Hill scores the second try for Leigh, his second try of the match, and Leigh lead by 10 points to 4.
The try scorer for Leigh, number 4, David Hill.
So just 15 minutes remain here at the Rydale Stadium, and Leigh get the cushion they wanted. They're 6 points ahead at the moment. This would be a vital kick for John Woods if he could get it. York have made another substitution. Jeff Price has come back to replace the injured Mike Ramsden.
Comes back on to replace number 13, Mick Ramsden.
So John Woods with the conversion attempt, just a yard from this near touchline. And it's there. What a tremendous kick. That was just what Leigh wanted. John Woods' 50th goal of the season, his second of the afternoon, and suddenly Leigh are looking in command, 8 points ahead with just 14 minutes of the match remaining. Well, it's certainly not been a sparkling or vintage performance by Leigh this afternoon. They've kept the hard work going, and this is the hero of the hour, David Hill. 2 tries and a good storming run again. Tattle by Bragger and Hopcutt. Same 2 make the tattle on Erner. Leigh have got that cushion. York have got to score twice to win now. Donahue on to Shields. Shields well stopped by the entire Rydale York front row. But Rydale York come up with possession at the play of the ball. They want points quickly to get back into this one. Sullivan's upended by Bridge. Horton now goes right to Price. Price gets out of the first 2 attempted tackles. Tattle by Bridge on the 25, right in front of the Leigh post. Horton now to Hamilton. On to Morris. Good defence coming in from Woods. Hamilton now on to Horton. Good tattle by Hill. Last one indicates the referee. What can York conjure from this position? Drop goals no use at all. So good up and under from Pearce. The referee indicates that it's a turnover. Ball thrown away after the tattle had been completed. Leigh get their second turnover of the afternoon. Shields on the charge now. That's better from Leigh. Takes the tattle from Pinkney. Not before he's cleared the 25 though. Donahue tries from acting half-back again. Gets away from them yet again. Nobody with him. Good defence from Hutchinson, but certainly he's taken them apart this afternoon. But bad play by Andy Collier at the play of the ball. And York come up with possession once more. That's a good tattle by Bridge on Hayes. Bridge again, the tackler on Hamilton.
Charlie Wood, please go to the Secretary's office.
Horton now to Paver. Good defence by Leigh again. This time it's Andy Ruane. Horton now to Pearce with the kick. Looks as though it could find touch though. Leigh quite happy to see it go out of play. Settle for head and ball at the scrum. Just 11.5 minutes remaining here at the Rydale Stadium. Leigh with this 8-point advantage. Donahue to feed once more. Gets possession, not the best of scrums for Leigh. It's their 4th scrum they've won in this second half. Bridge now taking it up from acting half-back. And they're away now. Looking for a good drive from someone. And Sullivan and Price make the tattle on Shields. Ruane settles for the kick. Forces Hutchinson to turn and chase. Almost to his own 25. Hill and Ledger make the stop. Short of halfway. Now can Leigh keep them here? Hayes on the drive now. Topping and Earner the tattlers. Alton moves it left. That was well forward by Hamilton. Hamilton and Pinkney collide. Topping makes the tattle in the end, assisted by Collier. And a headbutt there by Pinkney. And I think the penalty should go Leigh's way. Deliberate headbutt there from Nick Pinkney when he got up to play the ball. Well, I didn't see that Paul Topping did anything, personally. Interesting decision this by the referee. Penalty does go Leigh's way. And that's their first penalty of this second half. I think John Woods may elect to go for goal. Yes, the sand bucket comes on. Leigh looking to calm things down, get the points on the board. Wood can show the form that he did from the last conversion from this near touchline. Leigh will be quite happy with that. Took you some 40 yards out, almost in the centre of the field. And it's there once more, just what the visitors from Hilton Park wanted. 9 minutes of the match remaining, and John Wood's third goal of the afternoon makes it a respectable scoreline as far as the visitors are concerned. It's now Rydale York 4 points, Leigh 14. So Gary Pearce with the restart from the centre. Ledger with the headband on, makes that one his own. Good tackle coming in though from Sullivan. So Leigh just got to do the basics now in these remaining 9 minutes. Nothing silly, nothing fancy. Donahue on the 25 brings Collier into the line. Collier gets over the 25 before Hayes makes the tackle. Woods now out to Topping. Topping back inside to Woods. Woods can't get away though from Paver. He throws a left arm. And Ruane settles for the kick once more. Yet another fine kick. Drives York back some 35 yards. They get head and ball at the scrum outside their own 25. But York need to be at the other end of the field. They're there to get anything from this game. Hamilton to feed once more. Ball lost by Leigh. Price on the charge. Wood and Hill make the stop. Pearce now on to Sullivan. Good defence by Bridge once more. Hamilton seemed to have gone the wrong way. Takes everybody on. Runs into Collier and Ruane. Horton now to Paver. And a good tackle again from Bridge. This time Paul Topping is penalised in the tackle. It's only the third penalty of this second half. Penalties now 2-1 in York's favour. 7-2 in the match. Pearce drives Leigh back into their own 25. So, can York drag themselves back into this game? 6.5 minutes remaining. White on the charge. Good tackle from Earner and Shields, but the position's there now for York. They're 10 points behind. They've got to get something from this position if they're going to win this game. No way through for Paver. Horton now. Erner comes up with the pieces for Leigh. Tuttled on his own try line, but Leigh in possession. That's the vital thing. Collier behind the play of the ball. And a fine run by Collier. Only makes 10 yards, but gives his side more breathing space. Shields now. Shields makes another good 5 or 6. Leigh trying to relieve the pressure. Donahue out to Bridge. Bridge runs into Price and Sullivan. No way through. Leigh still trapped in their own 25. And again the Ruane kick. Another fine kick indeed. Saves Leigh forward a lot of work. Finds touch 10 yards inside the York half of the field. 5 minutes remain here at the Rydale Stadium. Leigh looking good for their 10th league victory on the trot. That will keep them top of the second division and online for promotion. Hamilton wins the scrum. Not the best of passes, but Hopcutt retrieves the situation for York. And Ian Bragger seems to have lost his way there. Leigh finish up with possession. Well, seemed to be a boot going in somewhere there. Ball topping stays down, the Leigh skipper. Referee in fact to stop the clock. Referee wants play to continue. Now that Topping's back on his feet. 6 more tattles to Leigh. Tanner now goes through the gap. Good tattle though coming in from Sullivan. Ruane now. Earn it. Tattle by Pearce as he got the ball, but he takes it into the home 25. Can Leigh finish with a flourish? Donahue now. Out to Woods, to Donahue, to Jeffrey. Jeffrey sidesteps past 2 players. On to Shields. Shields stopped 6 or 7 yards short. Leigh looking to wrap the game up now. Ruane settles for the drop goal. Leigh ease themselves further ahead with just 3 minutes remaining. Andy Ruane's 15th drop goal of the season makes the scoreline now. Rydale York 4, Leigh 15.
And Terry McCormack of the Punchbowl in Stonegate, and their choice this afternoon is number 7, Chris Hamilton.
Well, Chris Hamilton is named the Rydale York man of the match, but Leigh supporters are not interested in that. They know their side have got 2 more valuable league points in their quest for the second division championship. And Andy Collier has made a good return to the game as a second half substitute after his long layoff. Ruane now to Woods. Woods forced to take them on. Leigh just a little slow getting prepared for that move. Ruane now to Shields. A tattle from Pearce. Leigh just prepared to use the clock up now. Ruane once again. He's gained some yardage for Leigh this afternoon with these kicks. This time doesn't find touch, but Hutchinson takes it back over halfway. And Ruane chases up and makes the stop. Hamilton now out to Sullivan. Appended by Bridge. Hill completes the stop. Horton on to Paver. Full credit to York for the way they've kept going. Good pass out to Hamilton. Good tattle coming in from Donahue on that occasion. The run around, the ball finds its way to White. Leigh not prepared to give points away at this late stage. Horton now to Hamilton, on to Hayes, back to Hamilton, to Pierce. Leigh in very quickly. Andy Collier, the man making that tattle. Hamilton launches the eye up and under. But it's dropped by Tanner. Well, Leigh should have had 6 more, but Woods couldn't hang on to it. Knocks on, and York will have head and ball at the scrum, 20 yards out, right in front of the Leigh post. Just 20 seconds of normal time remaining on my watch. Leigh win York win possession. For the first time, Bragger goes past David Hill, but tattle is made by Ledger. Price now looking for his second try of the afternoon. He'd men outside him, but elected to go it alone. Leigh will be looking to keep the score sheet as it is. 4 points to York. Ball's thrown away. Must be a chance now. But Jeffrey breaks away for Leigh. A chance is lost again. Simon Booth got the tattle in. A despairing tattle on Stuart Morris to dislodge the ball. So the Leigh line holds once more. Shields takes it up. Over the 25, Hayes is the tattler. Donahue looks for a way through again and finds one once more. Is he going to go all the way? Gets past the fullback, they're all in pursuit. Price chases and catches him. I beg your pardon, it's Wingman White. It's now on to Andy Collier. Collier can't get the ball out in the tattle. He's held up on the line. It's the last one, indicates the referee. They've got a big overlap to the left now. Woods launches it out to Bridge, on to Hill, and David Hill gets his 3rd try of the afternoon. That wraps it up for the visitors. David Hill's hat-trick comes in the 81st minute. Leigh are definitely home and dry now. 2 valuable league points which didn't really look on in the first half, but they withstood their task quite well in the second. Come back, played controlled rugby, got the better of the opposition and won deservedly in the end. They lead by 19 points to 4, and Wood's conversion still to follow. Woods adds on his 4th goal of the afternoon. As the final hooter goes here at the Rydale Stadium. It's the final scoreline of Rydale York 4 points, Leigh 21. Well, Rydale took the lead in the 11th minute with a Jeff Price try, but after that all the scoring came from the visitors. 3 tries from David Hill, 4 goals from John Woods and a drop goal from Andy Ruane completed the Leigh scoring. So this is Derek Disley saying goodbye from the Rydale Stadium with a final reminder of this afternoon's scoreline. Rydale York 4 points, Leigh 21. Didn't expect that at half-time.
No.
It was me at Edward, so you can find out how Sheffield's gone.
They're away to that earlier. I missed the first thing you told me, that goes away. I've gone away when we get back on the post. So we should have scored behind the post.
The latest shot from the back right is Sheffield Eagles 8, Oldham 14.